Hello students, my name is Gaurav Bansal and we are going to discuss the Indian economy questions from the PT 2023. Now let us look at the questions one by one. The paper in my opinion was tougher than the average and the cutoff should be low accordingly. I'm yet to analyze completely the other sections, but as per, if I go by the early trend of Indian economy portion only, the cutoff should be below 85 as per the first impression that I have. When I'll go through the entire paper, I'll let you know about my expected cutoff. Now let us look at the question. The order of the question is as per the set D. The sequencing of these questions could be different in other sets, but anyways questions are same, so you would identify which question was that in your particular set. We consider the following statement with reference to India. According to MSME Development Act 2006, the medium enterprises are those with investment in plant and machinery between 15 to 25 crore. So this has been updated actually, and now the investment of up to 50 crore is considered to be the medium enterprise. 10 to 50 crore. Up to 10 crore it is small, and up to 50 it is medium. Up to 1 it is micro. In terms of turnover of the company, it is 250 crore. So first statement is wrong on that basis. Second, all bank loans to the MSME qualify under the priority sector. Well, as per the first understanding, this statement has to be correct because I couldn't find an exception to it. Choosing such options are generally difficult because saying all type are included means it is a very absolute statement. That means you just have to find an exception. The statement could be incorrect. So I've tried, and as per best of my knowledge and the initial information, this should be correct. In case there is an exception to it, it will be updated. And as per the first information, there are not many questions like that. It is only in this question where I'm just saying that we have just this first information. Otherwise, we are sure about the solutions in other questions. And that is also because it is a very strong statement. All you need is an exception. Anyways, let us move forward. For now, this is correct. So first is incorrect, second is correct. So 2 only will be the answer. Question number 2. As per set D, with reference to the central bank digital currency, consider the following statement. So it is as per CBDC, not in general about digital currency. Okay. You cannot take an example of crypto here. You have to strictly keep it within the bracket of CBDC, central bank digital currency. It is possible to make payment in digital currency without using US dollar or SWIFT system. So that is correct. And that is because of a very recent development, and that is the reason why I think this question has been asked, because last year it was digital ruble which was introduced and it could be purchased without using SWIFT or US dollar. So it is because of this very recent development. Second, a digital currency can be distributed with a condition programmed into it, such as time frame for spending it. So it is a very simple statement. Okay, can be introduced. So yes, of course, a feature can be introduced. It is not saying all the currencies should have this feature, but as an option, this could be correct. So both are correct in this case. C will be the answer. 3. In context of finance, the term beta refers to the process of simultaneous buying and selling of an asset from different platform. So this is incorrect. In fact, rather than discussing the options, the answer is simply D. See, beta is used for many aspects. In software development, beta is used for the stage of development, alpha stage, beta stage. Okay, beta stage is relatively an advanced stage. So in which stage something is, that is also an interpretation of beta, but we are asked in context of finance. In startups, we use beta as a funding round, alpha round, beta round, etc. And in finance, this is a very standard term. Beta is the ratio of the performance of a particular stock and the entire market. So for example, ratio of a stock with respect to the market capital of BSE. Let us say Reliance on average increased by 3%. Market on average increased by 1%. So Reliance is overperforming market by 3 times. So beta in this case would be 3, and that would be very, very strong performer. And likewise, so the beta is a very important indicator that is used in the financial markets. So an answer is D here. It is a numeric value because it is a ratio, percentage change in that stock, percentage change in market capital. And that measures the fluctuation of overall stock market. Next question is 28 as per set D. Statement 1, India account for 3.2% of global export of goods. If it would be goods and services, it would actually be correct, because in the survey we expected this number to be around 3.1%, but that was goods and services together. We are very good performer in services, but we are poor performer in goods. So our share in global export of goods means merchandise exports, that is only about 1.8, 1.9%, whereas our share in the global services export is about 4.2%, and the overall average is close to 3.1%. So 3.2%, okay, could be the updated number after the survey, and this could have been correct for together, but not for goods. So this is incorrect. Many local companies and some foreign companies operating in India have taken advantage of PLI scheme. So that is correct, because PLI scheme is also open to foreign companies. So in this case, 2 is correct, 1 is incorrect. Just give me 1 second. Yes. So in this case, C will be the, sorry, my bad, D will be the answer. 1 is incorrect, 2 is correct. Next is 49. Consider the following heavy industry. Okay, so there are 3 industry: fertilizer, oil and steel, and green hydrogen is expected to decarbonize how many of the above industries? The answer is all 3. Okay, so green hydrogen can actually help in the fertilizer production and can reduce the need for hydrocarbons there. It can be used to create ammonia, and ammonia, of course, is very important constituent of fertilizer, which restore the nitrogen in the crop. So of course, for fertilizer, oil refinery, because it is a direct substitute to oil, it can be used in trucks and even in cars in future. And third, steel plants. So some of you may not be aware of steel plant application of green hydrogen, which is where some students may get it wrong. Otherwise, 1 and 2 were relatively easy. The steel plant also use a lot of coal, where instead of coal, green hydrogen can be used. So steel is also an application area of green hydrogen. So all 3. It can help in decarbonizing. It can reduce the carbon production. Next, question number 52. Okay, so if you would notice in my Telegram group, I gave a special handout, and this is directly from my handout word by word. Anyways, this is to discuss the question now. So first is Kamaraja Port, which is also Ennore Port. Okay, so D. Kamaraja, if I'm not wrong, was one of the prominent politician in Tamil Nadu. So it is in his name that Ennore Port has been renamed. So that is the first major port in India to be registered as a company, to be corporatized. So that is correct. Mudra Port is the largest privately owned port in India. I think this is one of the most commonly known from the 3 statements. Second is also correct. So 1 and 2 are both correct. Let us look at 3. Vishakhapatnam Port, which is considered to be one of the most efficient ports of India, is the largest container port in India, which is incorrect. The largest container port in India is the JNPT, and not by small margin. It has 4 times cargo carrying capacity, container carrying capacity compared to Vishakhapatnam. So the third is wrong. So 2 pairs are correct. B is correct. 60. With reference to India's project on connectivity, consider the following statement. So this is a pure factual question, a tough one. It is very difficult to remember all the routes, all the beginning place, last place. Okay, but still, as good as it gets. Okay, we can't really help it. The east-west corridor under Golden Quadrilateral project connects Dibrugarh and Surat. No, it actually go beyond them. So it goes almost up to Porabandar, which is far more east compared to Surat. Okay, almost 300 plus kilometer east to Surat. And Dibrugarh, from Dibrugarh it further goes up to Bongaigaon. So this is incorrect. Second, trilateral highway connects Moreh in Manipur with Chiang Mai in Thailand via Myanmar. So this is incorrect. Okay. So the Indian part is correct, the Moreh in Manipur, but Chiang Mai is not the place which is connected by this trilateral highway. Okay. So the name of the place is, just give me 1 second. Anyways, Moreh or something. Okay, so I'm not able to recall that exactly. The second is also incorrect. Chiang Mai is further in Thailand. It is more of a border town which it connects to. In fact, Chiang Mai is one of the very popular tourist place in northern Thailand. One of the cultural places in Thailand where you have old monasteries, etc. Third, Bangladesh, China, India, Myanmar economic corridor connects Varanasi in Uttar Pradesh to Kunming in China. So China's part is correct. Kunming is correct. Okay. So Kunming is in Yunnan province. Yunnan is the southern or the southernmost of the Chinese province, and it is the largest city along the South China Sea as well. And the Mekong River also flows from here into the Vietnam and further into other countries. So Kunming was correct, but it doesn't connect up to Varanasi. From Kunming, it comes into Bangladesh, connect the Chittagong or Chittagong, and then the Dhaka, and then it is up to Kolkata. So that is the plan. So in this case, all three are incorrect. 61. Interest income from the deposit in InvITs distributed to their investor is exempted from tax, but the dividend is taxable. Okay, so this is more of a trick question. You are not expected to know this much of fine detail. Actually, you just need to know that InvITs are not for profit. Since InvITs are not for profit, there is no question of dividends distribution. And when you do not have to distribute the dividend, there is no question of tax. So this was a trick question. Knowing the nature of InvIT is a basic information that you are expected to know. But knowing very specific whether all the dividends are taxable, profits are taxable, that much is more tough for anyone to remember. So question didn't require you to know that much. You could pick it out. So first is incorrect because of that. Second, InvITs are recognized as borrowers under the SARFAESI Act 2002. So yes, that is correct. In fact, this is perhaps the reason why it is in news, because in last year there was an amendment through which it was recognized as a borrower as per SARFAESI Act. Otherwise, it was facing difficulties earlier. Rights, InvITs, okay, both of these. So in this case, the second is correct, the first is incorrect. D will be the answer. Next, 62. In the post-pandemic recent past, many central banks worldwide had carried out interest rate hikes. That is correct. During the COVID crisis, all the countries cut the interest rate to encourage the consumption in their country. After COVID pandemic effects toned down, moderated, those countries wanted to come back to the normal, and hence they started increasing the interest rate. So that is exactly what happened. And this created a problem for India also, and that problem is known as taper tantrum, because of which Indian rupee got depreciated. Anyways, more on that sometime later. For now, let us look at the second statement. Central bank generally assume that they have the ability to counteract the rise in prices via monetary policy. Means that is correct. Central bank believe that they can control inflation through interest rate or monetary policy. So why it is said that the central bank generally assume? Because it is true that they assume. The monetary policy doesn't always work for 100%. So it is more of an assumption rather than a fact. So John Maynard Keynes, one of the major economists and one of the most famous one, he gave a theory on the general theory, and that was about the depression economics, the general theory on employment and prices. That theory had a portion which was called liquidity trap. Now, I will not be going too much into it, but if we just look for it, then liquidity trap is a situation in which monetary policy do not work. So yes, there are situations in which monetary policy do not work, and the belief that it always work or the central bank can control inflation is more of an assumption. The second statement is perfectly correct. Both the statements are correct. Okay. And the A is the answer. Okay. It is also the correct option. So many countries increased interest rate believing they can control inflation, but they could not. Okay. UK increased interest rate continuously, but it couldn't control inflation for a very, very long time, and it costed two governments, in fact. Okay. Boris Johnson. After Boris Johnson, there was a Liz who came to office for only few days, and then Rishi Sunak. So that because their central bank couldn't work. 63. Carbon markets are likely to be one of the most widespread tool in the fight against climate change. That is correct. So whether it is the Kyoto Protocol, COP21, in every single agreement, international agreement now, carbon credit play a very important role. So first is correct. Second, the markets transfer resources from private sector to state. That is incorrect. On that, I know there can be debate also. Some teachers might say that this is also correct. But I am trying to answer this as per the standard theory, not on the basis of my belief. There is a very standard theory behind the carbon credits, and that theory is Pigouvian tax. Carbon credit or carbon taxes are based upon the Pigouvian tax, which is the basis for polluter pay principle. Means those who create pollution will pay, and those who create less pollution or benefit the society can get that money. And under carbon credit, what is happening? A private corporation can be investing in green energy, may have surplus carbon footprint, okay, a positive carbon footprint, and then it can sell the carbon credit to the companies which are creating the negative carbon footprint, and in a way those who benefit the environment can be compensated by those who harm the environment. So it is largely private to private, not from private to state. And in the Pigouvian tax, Arthur Cecil Pigou also argued affected party should be compensated by affecting party. So those who are creating pollution, creating problems, they should be paying to others, not to the state. So on that basis, it should be incorrect. And otherwise also carbon credits are mostly traded between the corporations. Sometimes states can be there, but it can't be a general statement that it transfer from private to state. It is not a tax. So one is correct, second is incorrect. C. 64. Which one of the following activity of RBI is considered to be part of sterilization? So this is quite straightforward. In this case, open market operation is the answer. So sterilization, this I've stressed a lot. Those students who have been associated with me or have taken classes, they know very well how much I stress always when I talk about monetary policy, that open market operation is the tool which is exclusively used for affecting the exchange rate, and that is also known as sterilization when used for that purpose. So sterilization means neutralization. So if market is affecting the exchange rate badly, then through open market operation, RBI can sterilize or neutralize the change. So that is why it is called sterilization also. So A is the answer. 65. Consider the following market and which of them are included in capital market. So again, my students should not have had difficulty, and in fact any student, this is not just about me, I agree, almost all the teachers would have taught it correctly. So those who have studied with honesty and hard work, they should not have had difficulty in some of these questions. 63, 64, 65, almost up to 69. These are all quite straightforward. So government bond market, that is typically more than 1 year. So that is a capital market asset. Typically, how do we differentiate between money market and capital market? That money market is up to 1 year maturity, capital market more than 1 year maturity. So bonds typically capital market. Coal money market is for up to 24 hours. It is typically interbank or inter-financial institutions market. So that is obviously the shortest type of shortest maturity financial market. It is money market. Treasury bills, 14 day, 91 day, 182 day and 364 day. So even the longest treasury bill is less than 1 year maturity. Hence treasury bills are money market. Stock market has virtually no expiry, no maturity date, infinite maturity. So stock market is also capital market. 1 and 4 will be the answer, but in this case, since we're just asking how many are there, so it will be only 2B. Now when UPSC has switched to these type of question, they have raised the difficulty level even higher, because earlier you could eliminate looking at the options. For example, 2 and 3 are not in the answer. So if 2 and 3 are in any answer, you can eliminate it. But this type of question is not going to help you at all. So difficulty level is even higher because of that. So answer is B, only 2. But do not get disheartened. The change is for everyone. सिर्फ आपके साथ ऐसा नहीं हुआ है, बाकी सबके लिए भी सरप्राइज था. तो पेपर अगर टफ आया है तो कट ऑफ भी डाउन होगा. यू नीड नॉट वरी, आपको नहीं डरना है, ठीक है. यू शुड नॉट वरी अबाउट इट. Cutoff should be below 85 as per my preliminary understanding. 66, this was a relatively straightforward question. Small farmer, large field. This is actually a group lending scheme, okay, collective lending scheme. And there is one option actually which is close to that. So many marginal farmer in an area organize themselves into group and synchronize and harmonize the selected agriculture operations. So answer is B. And anyways, on scheme based question I need not discuss too much. So answer is B, straightforward. 67. The government of India provides MSP for Niger seeds. Now, these are relatively lesser known crop in India. Government of India do provide MSP for them. Okay, so actually government of India provide MSP for 22 crops. If you look at the list, 14 of them are Kharif, and one of those 14 is actually Niger also. So it is a Kharif crop, and yes, it is included in the MSP list. In total 14 Kharif crops. And tribal people use Niger seed oil for cooking. That is also correct. The primary use for this crop is to create oil, vegetable oil. So in Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, Chota Nagpur Plateau region, basically parts of Odisha, West Bengal also, this seed is used for oil. All three are correct. Tough, I would say this is tough. Okay? This is not so well known crop. Consider the investment in following asset. How many of these are intangible? So intangible are those which cannot be physically seen. Okay, they have impact on people. They are important. They are very valuable, but they cannot be physically seen. They are not physically present. They do not have a mass if I define in terms of physics. Brand recognition. Brand value is not something that is stored in a go down or in a office. It is sitting up. जाके देख लो कि brand recognition कितना है. Brand recognition is not something which is physically verifiable. You can only estimate that, and only a popularity through survey can tell you how much is brand popularity. You can never have accurate or physical measure of it. So something which cannot be physically measured is intangible asset. So brand recognition is an intangible investment or asset. Inventory is a physical asset because inventory is actually physically stored in the go down. Okay, so inventory is not an intangible asset. Intellectual property is also an intangible asset. Okay, how much would be the value of the patents held by a company? Again, that can be at best an estimate. Mailing list of client. Okay, so this is a marketing tool, marketing asset. Again, this is not physically seen. These are all agreements only. Okay, they are not physically verifiable or measurable. So 1, 3 and 4 are correct. In this case, C, only 3 will be the answer. 69. Consider the following. There are 5 parameters which are given, and this is one of the easiest questions because this is the basic information which everybody is expected to know. If you get this wrong, this is a crime. This is not a mistake. This is a crime or a sin. Okay, कम से कम इसे तो गलत नहीं करना था. Now, for the horizontal tax devolution, horizontal means between the state, between different states. And what is vertical distribution? Between the center and the states. So horizontal tax devolution, which is as per the Finance Commission formula, how many parameters do we use? So two are already given, population and income distance. In addition, how many are given by 15th Finance Commission? In this case, the answer would include demographic performance, forest and ecology, and tax and fiscal efforts, not 3 and 4. And if you actually check out 3 and 4, you can logically eliminate them. Okay, this is where elimination could have been useful. Generally this year, elimination is not something which is a useful tool. Elimination is going to be the bad word for some time now. People will make memes on it, jokes on it for quite some time. Anyways, in this case you could eliminate it, because governance reforms is not something which can be measured and used as an objective criteria for devolution. You can't measure that this state has done 70% reforms, this state has done 60% reform. You can't measure like that. Stable government, again, this is not a parameter you would use for subnational or non-sovereign units. So this is also not relevant here. Finance Commission should not have anything to do with stable government. So 3 is the answer, B. 70th, consider the following infrastructure sector. And here we are asked basically that how many of these does S3I initiative focuses for its investment. So this question is asked because of a major scandal in the UN last year. In fact, scandal is now 2-year-old almost. So the S3I, or in fact this UNOPS, had a multi-million-dollar scandal regarding construction of houses. And there was embezzlement of the funds. So because of that, this was in news for a very long time. And that is why you are expected to know. Otherwise, it would have been a very, very impossible question to answer. So if you have read that news and remember from that context only, then you could answer. But still, I would rate it among the tough questions. Very tough questions. Okay. If I would be in your place, I wouldn't have been able to solve it in the examination hall. Sitting at our home with internet, anybody can solve anything actually. So do not get disheartened when you get this type of question wrong. Affordable housing, healthcare and renewable energy are the answers, not the mass transport. Okay, only 3 will be the answer. Last question from the Indian economy section. As per the Saturday, India, despite having uranium deposit, depends upon coal for most of its electricity production. So half of the statement is correct actually, that India is dependent on coal for its electricity production, and the usage of coal is in fact increasing from last year. I have stressed upon this fact many times, and those who are my students and those who have read my updates in the Telegram group, they would know that I have stressed upon this point many a times. Now, do India have uranium deposit? As a general statement, we do not say that India has uranium deposits. So ideally this should be wrong. But later you will find that the statement 2 is also wrong, and there is no option which say 1 and 2 both are wrong. So we have to accept 1 as correct. Okay, because yes, India do have some very, very low grade uranium deposit. Okay. Now, uranium enriched to the extent of at least 60% for the production of electricity. Actually, for the production of electricity, what we need is nuclear fission. And for nuclear fission, how much purity you need or how much enrichment you need? 99% plus. 60% is the level of the uranium that India has the deposits, and that is very, very low deposit. So second statement is confirm wrong, definitely wrong. First is bit of a doubtful statement, because yes, India has some uranium deposit, but as a general statement, we do not say we have deposit. So this should have been wrong. But there is no option which says both are wrong. So in this case, we have to accept 1 is correct, 2nd is wrong. So that should be the answer. With this, I've completed the discussion. I hope this has been helpful to you. Thank you, students.